Hello, everyone. How you all doing? How on a day? Welcome. This is NDISCO'S Village Meeting Podcast, where we talk about Africa, society, and culture as it relates to us, Africans in diaspora and at the homestead, and as it relates to um, things we learn from the rest of the world and things we teach to the rest of the world, if any. And hopefully, in between what we share and what we can modify or discard. So today we're talking, you know, about something that is happening all around us. Um, some people don't even know they know it's happened, they've heard about it, but they don't know it could happen to them. It could happen to any of us, the best of us, the worst of us. So today, during this episode 19 of series 3, as your hostess, Dr. Marcellina and Ndidi, I will try to highlight the important aspects of this topic and see if you can relate to them, if you observe clearly, if you can see the signs of this happening around you and be able to make the sense of that and look out for everybody else. Because in this little global world we are in, we are each other's brothers, sisters, neighbors, keepers. So, on that note, I am going to bring up this topic and see if we can relate. You've heard about it, maybe. You've known somebody who is impacted by it. And maybe today, after today, you can talk more about it with your members of your family sitting around the table, dinner table, or otherwise your friends. Any young one you see there, any old one, any middle-aged one, it happens to everyone. Today we're talking about human trafficking. Many people will say, like we say in Nigeria, it's not my portion because we are really deeply religious. Like, it's not my portion because we're already God is hovering over us, making sure it's not part of the chalice we drink from. But hey, it could be happening to the best of us, to the worst of us, like I said. Yeah, and if you think it's not happening to you, think again. It's happening all around you. You, some of you, it has happened to as a victim or as victims, or you are the perpetrator doing this to others. So the question then is, if you see the signs of human trafficking, would you recognize them? Would you know what to do if you are the victim? Okay. If you are not the victim and you're not the perpetrator, you are, a witness. When you see something, would you say something? When you observe something, or when you sense that something is off, would you be able to tell anyone or save this person from harm or from whatever is going on? Because it might be your own daughter, your own niece, your own aunt, your own wife, your own mother, or your own son, your own brother, your own uncle, and etc., etc. Okay? So, what is human trafficking? That's the big question. Because we hear about it, but let's not confuse it with any other topic out there. Because sometimes we see people kidnapping people for ransom. That may not be it. It's something different. This is what they have described as a massive, persuasive, or pervasive global crime. It's persuasive because you don't even know when you're being talked into it. But it's It's in our little streams of drinking in the whole world. It's rampant out there. It's highly lucrative, makes a lot of money. Look at the sum, the estimated big amount by the last statistics I was able to find, $150 billion to over $172 billion, and the climate. That's an annual profit for those who are the perpetrators of this crime. So now, when we talk about the people going through this, approximately 27.6 million are trapped in this crime, forced labor, and much more worldwide. We're not talking about a particular continent. We're talking about worldwide, everywhere. And each year, the trend says it's increasing, the number of victims going through this. Okay. The victims, everybody is a victim. It could be a victim, a man, woman, all that. But the biggest number, they're talking about 60 to 70 something percent, 61 to 71% are women and girls. Okay, they are the ones mostly affected. Okay, majority of them are identified as such. Okay? The children are not left out of this. You see, some of the people whose children are missing for a long time, they are never recovered. God knows where they are. There's no closure for the parents. There's no burial place that they could find them, not in the mortuary, but they don't know where they are. And some have been known to come back after so many years and, finding their way back to their parents. So it's a whole bad thing going out there. Sexual, apart from the labor, we also hear about the sexual exploitation aspect. That's the primary form. The biggest form is the sexual exploitation, and that involves young women and men, young boys and young girls, which goes with the forced labor as well. These two have surpassed all other types of trafficking going on in the world. Okay. And it has been so rampant that it has brought in coalition of international bodies to look into, because there are rings of these things going on all over the world. So United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime came together or have come together with International Labour Organization, various government bodies of every country you can think of. Have their own agencies looking into this. They publish their reports and they exchange, information that they have out there. They compile all these data and the statistics that we've shared to help really fight this crime. But it's really huge. And that's what something we have to look out for our kids. So how do you recognize this crime and how do they come about? What in what format are these crimes, especially that we call the human trafficking crime? Again, before we go, and I highlighted that there, so we have to make sure we understand, that not all the indicators from numbers 1 to 8 below or cited here are present in every human trafficking situation. No. And the presence or absence of any of these indicators is not necessarily proof of human trafficking. So you could say your eyes could deceive you, your senses could deceive you. But again, this is a way of telling you that all that glitters may not be as golden as we think it could be. So you could see some of these signs and you say, oh, this is it. Let's just start acting. But you got to look twice, because not all of these indicators will show you that it's human trafficking. And this is not conclusive of all indicators of this serious crime and humanity. Okay. So how do you recognize that? When someone comes on very strongly to you and promises you things that seem too good to be true. This is how they get our young ones who don't have a job, who don't have money, who don't have anything. They've gone to school, they have done the best they could for the society, but their governments fail them. So um, somebody comes to them and promises them extremely high wages for easy work or no work at all. We pay you if you could do this, we do this and that. They fall victims because they don't have anything. This is the best they can get. So that's a sign. If you're a young one being approached that way, nothing comes free. Everything that comes like it seems to be too good, it's not always too good. When you are pressured into agreeing to the employment or relationship on the spot, okay, somebody's threatening you that otherwise you hurry, pressuring you to do, say yes, sign on this dotted line, bring this, get that, they're rushing you because they're telling you, oh, in the next 24 hours, this opportunity will be lost, somebody else will. It's too good to be true. Think twice. When the terms of employment given to you, the location of the employment, company details, the credentials that are needed for this job, what they do, are unclear to you as a young person. You don't understand that. You don't get it. If you ask questions, they said later we'll answer it, and they're not answering that upfront. Remember when I said to you, ask questions, ask and ask and ask again? I don't care who it is. They need to answer your questions if they are sincere. So if you got into such a situation where everything is blurry and nothing, your potential partner denies you access to all this information about your own rights to know, it's too good to be true. Okay. This could be something that is shady. Okay. When you are denied contact with your friends, so this person brings you in and you accept all this in a rushed way and all that without anybody answering your questions, and you get in doing their work or going. We have had stories of people flying you to Dubai or to anywhere. Not Dubai is not being singled out. I'm not saying that that's a trafficking place, but that's an example. To London, to Lagos, to Imo, to anywhere in the world, to Iceland, to Greenland, anywhere in the world, because it happens everywhere. Okay. Um, and they have taken you to these places to do whatever work they're asking you to do. And they deny you contact with your friends, your family, or any attempts, and all attempts are made to isolate you from your social network. Nobody, you disappear from Facebook if you used to be on Facebook or anything. They're like, hush, 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 don't tell anybody. Look out. That's not good. When there is a constant check on you, this person brought you in and you go into the bathroom, ask where are you going? You can't even go freely to the stores. You can't take a cab ride by yourself. Everything you're doing, you are go wherever you're going is being checked, including not allowing you access to your own money. They take your paycheck from you. They say we're going to keep it for you so you don't have access. You don't have any money in your hand. You don't have any certificates that you brought. Your earned certificates, credentials, none. It's in your possession. Your travel documents, your passports, your visas, everything, the green card, citizenship, or whatever it is, they hold for you. That's a problem. Something is not right. When you are being asked to do things outside of your own comfort zone, I don't want to do that. I don't do it. I don't like that. No, no, no. But they are insisting you do. That's part of your agreement. And this occurs mostly when they are asking you to perform sexual favors, because they're helping you, helping in quotations, um, because now you are a victim of guilt. They're like, we did this for you, why can't you do that? Or do favors for their friends because they are helping you, um, or their family members. That is a problem. Number 7 is when there are signs, characteristics of a dangerous person when they try to control your movement and behaviors, you know, they start exhibiting jealousy, they lash out at you, they punish you in response to your non-compliance, no, you're listening to them, not doing what they're asking you to do. When these are not enough, uh, they turn into verbal, emotional, physical abuse, and more, sexual as well. So you know now you are in deep, deep, deep trouble. Okay. So when the threats or displays of violence are used to create a culture of fear, every time you open your mouth to ask a question or they threaten you, now you are deep into it. There's no going out, there's no breathing. Remember, when you look at 1 to 8, you can ask question, you can call anybody, you can talk to anybody, nobody knows where you are, even your parents. Especially those of you parents whose children are in school. You think your child is living in the dormitory, it's gone to college somewhere, but nobody has seen her. You haven't talked to her. Her friends don't know her whereabouts, and your son, the same thing. You better start asking questions because something is not right. So, victims are mostly found in poor areas, destitute and hungry, right? Wrong. They can be found anywhere and everywhere. So, these victims are human beings, young boys, girls, who, like what we talked about before earlier on the last slide, um, they have been talked into doing stuff that carried them away. Okay. But these are not found in poor areas only, or places where, oh, you can find victims easily. They are everywhere. You see people in legal and illegal labor industries, they have been recruited to go work in farms that are remote, so remote that nobody can reach them. Some of them have been given the legal papers to work, but they cannot get out. Okay. They can be found in child care services, elder care services, where they do the job, but they don't have freedom at all. The drug trade, those of them that really sell drugs or are being recruited to, carry drugs from one country to the other and all that. That's part of human trafficking, and you can't say anything. And if they threaten you, some of them their families have been threatened. If you say anything, you call my name or you say, we'll kill your family and all that. So there are all types of threat. Massage parlors and hair salons have a lot of these victims in there. And they may not tell you, but they're doing it just robotically to fulfill this contract that they got into and they don't know how to get out. And the worst is that sometimes these people are carried to areas where nobody knows them and they don't know anybody. They are found in restaurants, hotels. You can see them, and some of them, you can watch them, the way they walk, the way they duck into corners when they see people, and you can see the fear written all over them. In factories and farms, they are there. In domestic servitudes in home, some of them have been taken to countries way, way far away from home, and their passports and everything taken away from them for them to work 24 hours, 7 days a week, serving in homes, being abused by the owners of the homes on top of that. And they don't have any say because they don't have papers, they don't have anything, they can't go anywhere. They don't have money. Okay. Those who have an idea that have the proprietors or perpetrators who have trafficked them are the only ones that know. And some of them will take a lot of money from them for helping them. But then, unless they pay up all the money or they take all this money from their masters or mistresses that are keeping these victims, they can't escape. They can't go anywhere. So it's a whole lot you look at that because some of the times the person that introduced you to the last destination that you're going is the middleman. Okay. They may know this or that place you are going or not know, but they are the middleman. They get the money, they hold your passports and everything. And that's the way it is. They're getting the money on your behalf. Others that you see that are victims are in plain view, interacting with others on a daily basis. They know what they got into. But unfortunately, because of how things are hard for them, they can't get out. They got just under duress. They are doing what they have to do. You see those people in exotic dance clubs, dancing and dressing down to nothing, and it's not what they want, but they are doing it because they're in for it already. Construction work, you see some of them in there, especially migrants. Some of them go through such a lot of money passed hands to get them there where they have been yearning to go, but they couldn't go. And now somebody is helping them go there without them understanding the intricacies of what they're asking for. They just buy it in order to just go in. In Nigeria, we call it japa. And then when you japa, you find out that, okay, you've gotten yourself into, hot soup without knowing. It's not because you wanted that. You wanted a better way of life, but you didn't know you were becoming a victim of such crime. Some of them are in health sectors, beauty services, again, everywhere. So it's not like there is a particular place where you see these victims or proprietors or perpetrators. No, they're everywhere. Others include sex trafficking. That's where majority of them you find. Venues, businesses, fake massage businesses there, or the escort services, brothels, on the streets, in truck stops, you everywhere, strip clubs. So you keep an eye out because you will see some of them around. So who are these human trafficking perpetrators or proprietors, like I call them, the traffickers? Who are they? We always have questions when we talk about Boko Haram, for example, in Nigeria, but we're asking who is really Boko Haram? Who are the perpetrators of Boko Haram? You never know these people, but they are all everywhere. They span all racial, all ethnic, all gender demographics, and as diverse as their victims and their survivors. So you may be sitting next to somebody who is perpetrating this crime, and you never know. So this is why it's difficult to catch these people, because some of them are the people doing this without even, showing any signs of it. Some use their privilege, the wealth, the power as a means of control. So some of the people involved in this are really, really rich, and they are spoken in the community and they're well known in the community. But nobody knows. You can pin them down. Some experience the same, some are within the same socioeconomic status as the people that they are trafficking, the middleman. Okay. These are the individuals or business owners, members of gang networks, parents, or even family members of the victims. They could help, sell you or traffic you. We've seen where parents really help trafficking their own, offsprings and all that. It's a terrible world we live in. But, your partners, we've seen where boyfriends sell their girlfriends, and those girlfriends betray their boyfriends, the husbands do that to their wives and vice versa. Um, uh, People in powerful places, okay, government representatives, they are all into this. Okay, so when you are trying to stop such, you don't even know where to start and where to stop. Sex traffickers, target victims, and then they use violence, threats, lies, false promises, all of that. Some of them, you owe them money. That's the only way they collect their money, and you don't have another choice. They manipulate, they control, and they keep you in that for their own profit. You keep, even if when you want to get out, they're not letting you out. So they keep you there. And when we're talking about those who have gone through the same oppression, gang members, gang members, if you are become a gang member, some of them, when you read the gang diaries and all that, they can't get out, even if they want to get out, because somebody else who has gone through their, whatever they are going through is holding them down. That's how the only way they get up, they get to the next level of their status. So this thing is revolving around everybody, and it's terrible. So one might ask, why can't these victims seek help or get out of the situation? So sometimes we think it's easy to just go. Okay, you stay there for a year or two. Why didn't you get out? And we think it's easy. No, especially when you have been sent to overseas countries from your own country, and you have no way of coming back or that. So some of them, there is a fear of retaliation. There are threats on their heads and their families. And you don't want anybody, because of you, the rest of your family who, may not know what you're into, get wiped out. So because of that, they stay. It's not that they don't want to go. It's like women who were in marital abuse and all that. Sometimes, they don't want to, they want to go, but they can't go. That's a topic for another day. Lack of resources. These victims may owe the these traffickers lots of money. They cannot pay. They cannot redeem themselves. They don't have ID to go function anywhere else. So these people trafficking them who have their life in their hands practically. Okay. So you can live. They are isolated. They are kept away from their family, friends, anyone who could help them. Remember, some of them are sent to countries where they can't even speak the language, but they use signing, doing whatever they are asked to do until either they make up the money, they have stayed that long, and they have been useless to the point that some of them get killed along the way. So that's what it is. But some of them can still get away if they buckle down and think of ways to do that. And here we have been given some direct methods for seeking help. And some countries have it well built in the way that they have national human trafficking hotlines. I think every country in the world now has been made or encouraged to establish such. The victims are asked to, sometimes if you can't call, text to certain lines. So what I want you as a young boy or a young girl out there to do is to find in your own country what these numbers are, have them in your pockets or in your wallets or on your phone, wherever you're going, or memorize them, so you can always type. There are online chats and emails, somebody who you can say, help me, please help. Emergency services where you can just should and dial. It's like 911 in the US, like they will come and fetch you wherever you are. So it can always you can always try to find a way. And when you go to like in the US or um, Europe, and I believe Asia also, if you go to the bathrooms have numbers on the wall, in the bathroom walls, each stall, where they know that sometimes the victims, the only way to escape from whoever is holding them or the perpetrator is to ask to go to the bathroom. If you are a woman, the man may not follow you into the bathroom. And so you could always ask for help. And this is where the numbers are all put in the bathroom stalls. I don't know if that happens in the rest of the world. I'm hoping that in Africa, we are developing that aspect also because we have a lot of that going on in Africa of human trafficking. There are also discrete or nonverbal signals. Because these people are monitored closely, I don't know if you, seen some of the videos to that effect. They are walking too close to these humans that you will feel that something is off. Okay, whether it's in a restaurant or at a bus stop or something, they're walking so close to them. If you don't look very well, you think it's their boyfriend or girlfriend, that sometimes help is requested through subtle clues. So there are prearranged signals all over, sign codes, physical signals like flicking lights. If you are a victim in the car, you can flick the lights to show that you are being held against your will. You can reach out to a trusted friend or neighbor, or you can, there are signs of the fingers being used at the back of yeah, at the back, making a V sign or something that will make somebody else walking around like know that you are um, not okay. Okay, there are code words out there. Find out in your country what these are because they are different from country to country. But there are some that are universal that you can. I don't have any offhand as we speak. Medical settings, victims sometimes use visits to the doctor. So, but there sometimes you will see these people also working with their victims into the doctor's offices and stand by them without even giving them an inch. But the good thing is that the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses have been trained to look out for such. So, it's just use your human, instinct if you are one of these healthcare workers, or you, the victim. You can know you use we humans, we have a way of asking for help with our eyes without even saying anything. So use those opportunities, medical settings. These may be the only times you can get away from your trafficker, or you have an opportunity for somebody else to help you out. You can also pass notes. A victim might pass a written note to a service worker, to a transportation, if you're in the bus, or a stranger in a public restroom, like, help me. Always, you can say, help me, and they will do so. Okay. Um, Again, this is a topic that um, is inexhaustible, because there's so much there, or there are so many things that one could share here. But what I gave here are the highlights, so that if you see the sign, if you are a victim, you will know. And if you are a perpetrator to this, or a trafficker, know that one day you'll be caught. um, every day, like, let's say in my language setting, every day is for the thief. One day is for the owner of the farm. So, um, trafficking other human beings is not the best way to get rich, despite the fact that you're making a lot of money. Um, think about it twice. We need to stop. That's a crime against humanity, against the young ones. Imagine it is your own daughter, your own child, your own son, your own brother, sister being trafficked. How would that feel? For parents, you got to look out, ask questions, call, find out where your child is. If you are one of those whose children don't tell you where they're going, or they don't know their whereabouts for a long period of time, you better think twice, okay? Because some things could be happening, you don't know where they are, and you think they are somewhere else, but they are gone almost forever if care is not taken. A human life is a precious thing to waste, and to lose their minds for certain periods of being held against one's um, um, approval is daunting. And I pray that anybody I know may not fall into such predicament. But it's happening all around us. It's a lucrative business. It's not going to stop tomorrow, but you got to be careful out there. Okay? And on this note, we're going to call it another day. This is your hostess, Dr. Marcellina Ndidi M.OPARAOJI, again asking you to please subscribe. Tell your friends. Okay? There are so many topics already out there. So go look at them, and we have a whole lot coming up. Like I promised, I'm making out time now to get more frequent than I used to. If you notice now, you're getting 2 episodes per week at least. And I am working as hard as I can to produce this. It's just not an easy task, but I'm loving every moment of it. And I thank you, those of you. Just last week, a whole lot of you, hundreds of you, went into my episodes that are long, long, long time ago. And the way I know this is that my host, Buzzsprout, gives me feedback on how you guys are going into and downloading. And please continue to do so. Spread the word. Um, it doesn't cost you anything. Go to YouTube and comment, like, and do whatever. Remember, I am because you are. That's the spirit of Ubuntu. Have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening. Sayonara. Bye-bye.